Good morning, my beautiful friends. I am coming to you live from, not live, that just sounds like something I would say. I'm coming to you from my jetty this morning. So there may be a little bit of background noise, but I want to kind of set the scene. And I was called to kind of come down here this morning because it just felt really aligned with me to have a chat with you. I could never podcast in a studio. I used to kind of look at what people did and think that's what I need to do. I need to do what everybody else is doing. That's what they put on their socials, but that's not me. One, I just want to jump on and share with you in the moment. I'm a responding generator, so I respond to what comes up. And so I want to chat with you in the moment. So I can't batch content and think ahead. It's very, very spontaneous. It's very authentic, and it's very channeled wisdom that kind of comes through. And secondly, I just want to feel like I'm having a chat with you in the studio, or I'm having a chat with you on the couch, or I'm just sitting here having a chat with my friends. And actually, it's funny, that's what people have said to me. They go, I love your podcast because it feels like you're just talking to me and we're just having a chat. And that's how I want it to come across. That's really, really important to me. So I'm down here by the water, because this episode, well, one, I was just called to come down here, and it's kind of, number two, it's a bit about nature and how nature plays with us, how nature interacts with us, and what you can learn. And as you know, I teach from experience, so I might talk about me, but it's not about me. It's about you, and for you to interpret it in your own unique way, okay? I'm just the messenger. Take out of it what you need. And I often hear people say, there was just one line that you said, or something I really needed to hear, and that's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. So I'm down here by the water, and I woke up this morning and I looked out. I got called to get up really early this morning, and I love getting up before sunrise, so where you've got first light. And I looked out from up at my house, and it was all this horizon, you can see behind me, and it was all orange and blue. There's not a cloud. Well, it could be, I don't know, I can't see, but from where I can see, there's not a cloud in the sky. And it was so peaceful, and that moment just set my energy up for peace and calm and tranquility. So I made my raw cacao. I went and sat out on my deck, and what happened was, I was thinking, let me go back a day, actually. Let me go back to yesterday. So yesterday I had a conversation with my gorgeous son, Brocky, and I was talking to him about TikTok. So my IT guy said to me, because there's a program I'm working on creating, and he said to me, he said, you've got to get on TikTok. And I was like, he's told me this before, and I ignored it because I'm like, man, I don't need another platform that I will get distracted on. I'm already on Facebook. I'm already on Instagram. TikTok too, really? This is just overwhelming. And I just thought it was just for the young kids. It's just, I'm too old for TikTok, was what I told him. He's like, Lise, no, my wife's on there. He goes, it's amazing how I'm on there. He goes, because it's short, sharp kind of video content. It's amazing how many people are actually on TikTok. So you've kind of got to get on it. And I'm like, oh my God, fine, whatever. So I got on it. It's not even, I haven't even got that much video content on there yet. It's just still in the works. And so I was having this chat with Brock, because Brock put this video on TikTok when we had this cyclone. He was out on our deck, and when it was hammering down, and he got on there, and it was just this trend or something that they were doing. And he's out in this cyclone, not in the middle of a cyclone, but he's out on the deck when it was bucketing down rain, and the wind was crazy. We get all this southeasterly wind come through, and the wind was crazy, and he's out there kind of throwing his body around in the cyclone, pretending he's right in the thick of a cyclone, right? And heaps of people were doing it. And it wasn't, I wouldn't let him if it wasn't safe, right? It was just heavy, it was really heavy rain and crazy wind. And he put this TikTok up, and it's up to, I don't know, 2 million views or something, and some crazy amount of comments, likes, whatever. I don't really kind of get too entertained by the numbers, but I'm learning, I'm a business owner. I need to start watching these things, okay? Because I've been a bit blah, 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 kind of, in my feminine, whatever, but I need to start navigating this kind of stuff. And anyway, he oh, even, you know what, even one of my clients, one of my friends, Kiri, you're right in the way, one of my friends, sisters, she messaged me, sorry, my dog's literally just sat down in front of me, on my mat. She said to me, she messaged me, she's in like Adelaide, and she messaged and she goes, is this Brock? And she sent me like a link to the TikTok. I'm like, how the hell did you get that down in Adelaide? It was going viral on something down there. And she goes, I thought I recognized your deck. And so I was having this conversation with Brock yesterday about TikTok, and I'm like, mate, how do you help me? And I go back a couple of weeks, like 2 weeks earlier, his friend was over, and I didn't know his mate was over, and I went down, I'm like, Brock, and he's got a friend there, and I'm like, oh, sorry to interrupt, but help me. How do I grow on TikTok? Like, teach me a few things. And he said to me yesterday, he goes, oh, me and his mate, he goes, we were laughing at you. Like, mum's like, how do I go viral on TikTok? Like, giving this old woman shit. And so yesterday I said to him, all right, give me some tips and help me understand. And he goes, so what you need to do is, he goes, first of all, I can't remember, I'm trying to think word for word, because he's so funny. He just blurts it out so funny. He's like, no one wants to see you smoothies and sunrises. That's like story content that you put on TikTok the other day. Like, that's not a actual TikTok video. Yeah, it's cool, but that needs to be on a story. He said, people want to see funny stuff. People want to be entertained, or they want to learn something. I said, well, I have got some videos on there. He goes, like, tell them, like five ways a new person would get started in the studio, and things like that. And I'm like, he was out washing his car. He's got this like cool Land Cruiser, as the boys do, and he was showing me. He goes, he just filmed like a quick, before of his car all dirty, and then he'll do an after. I'm like, but don't you want to, like, do you want me to video you, like washing it or something like that? And he goes, Mum, no, people don't want to see that. They just want to see like this before and this after, and these are the trends. And I said to him 2 days earlier, I said to him, babe, like, you've got, because he's doing his aircon apprenticeship with our business, and we also, with my husband's business, does cryotherapy and liquid nitrogen. And I said, like, why don't you set up some really cool stuff of your car and get like the nitrogen? So, like, if you used to put like dry ice on a dance floor and you got all those fumes that come up, why don't you, like, every time you do something new on your car and you do a reveal, have like the nitrogen or the dry ice, all the fume, like making it look really, really cool. And he's like looking at me like, you're an idiot. And I said, but mate, like, that's unique. What other kid has access to that? It can be like something unique, like what you do is actually really cool. The pipe freezing and the nitrogen, all that stuff, as well as the aircon, is kind of really, really cool. And he's like, that's not what people do. I said, who cares what people do? Do you, like, just do it unique, be authentic. I'm sick of the trends. Like, I'm sick of seeing all this bullshit stuff on TikTok. And this is where this is going, right? I said to him, like, I'm sick of seeing like all this stupid stuff on TikTok. Like, yeah, some of it's funny. Like, I laugh, I definitely don't hate it all. But there's people doing irrelevant stuff that is making them millions, or is getting them a lot of attention or a lot of awareness. And what they're doing is not valuable. And Brock's like, but they make people laugh, Mum. Like, isn't that valuable? I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right there. And he said, but like, we're amused by it, and it keeps us watching. Like, isn't that what you want? And I said, yeah. I said, my demographic's not the same as your demographic. Like, I'm talking to the 30, 40, like the woman who wants to take care of herself, the woman that's maybe got kids or about to have kids, or kids have left home. Like, I'm kind of talking to the mum. And he goes, well, teach them more stuff. And you got to get it really quick. Like, you've got to kind of snapshot it really, really quickly to get it out there. Your videos are too long, or your writing's too long. And I said, can you help me? Like, can you help me do some of this stuff? And I'll like, you can get a percentage of when my program goes out, I'll give you a percentage. He's like, I want like 50%. I'm like, get stuff. Like, I'm not giving you 50%. Anyway, we had all this banter. He's a funny kid. Like, oh, I love him dearly. He's so funny. And so it got me thinking how irritated I have been sometimes. I think, man, there are people out there that actually have value. Like there are people out there that have wisdom that they want to share. There are people out there that are actually helping the world and doing things to make a difference, and are not getting the traction or not getting the views or not being seen. And then there's people out there that are doing stupid shit. Like this is what I was saying to the kids. And like they're making so much money doing stuff that doesn't even really add that much value. And this is what I was having to battle with, and this is what I was talking to the kids about, and talking about my demographic, just a whole like kind of TikTok-y stuff and everything. As I know many of you mums would, my jetty's just rocking a boat's gone past. I know many of you mums would think the same, you know, like there's, these kids are consumed by it, and we don't want to get consumed by it. But like when I jump on, I want to learn something. Yeah, I want to laugh, but I also want to take something away. And I started, like I said, well, Brock, look at like Jay Shetty, you know, like he doesn't have funny stuff on, some of his stuff is funny, but on TikTok, it's all like, you know, bits of snippets of his podcasts and things like that. And he goes, well, make your TikTok more like that, more educational. So anyway, he gave me so much to think about and so much to, yeah, I walked away. My kids teach me things, and so your kids teach you things as well. If we actually like give them, sometimes it's easy as a mum to go, I'm the mum and they're just the kid. Man, like they have wisdom, they have knowledge, they have so much that we can actually learn from them. They're amazing. And so anyway, what happened then this morning? I've come out and I'm sitting down watching the sunrise. I'm sitting down in my spiritual practice, and I notice an eagle, right? So an eagle was kind of circling around here. This eagle then went and landed just over there. There's like a sailboat, and this eagle landed on the mast of this sailboat. And as I was watching the eagle, I had my sage and I was cleansing away that old version of me. Like I was, you know, like I was using my sage, and I'm like, I need to release that part of me that doubts on myself. I need to release that part of me that is stuck in the past. I'm going through a bit of a transition at the moment too, like with the kids really not being around that much anymore, letting go of just entering this new season of my life. I'll talk about this in another episode. Like my car has died, and I know that's because my car represents that older season of me and that older version of me. And it was the bigger car that I've had taking my kids and stuff around, their friends around. So all this is kind of going through my mind. I'm like, okay, please let go of that version of me. Please, you know, I'm grateful for her, but I need to level up now. Help me get rid of my fear. Help me get rid of my doubts and all these things that I'm, you know, like my procrastination, my, all these things, like let them go. And last night I was watching a movie with Tom. It was an old movie, and God love him, he's like, all right, you pick the movie. I picked the movie the other day, and it was like an old one that come up. It literally just come up on my Facebook feed. Eva Mendes, I love her. And it was an older movie called The Women with Meg Ryan and a whole heap of big stars. And so Tom was like watching it going like, I'd rather watch paint dry, but I'll watch it for you, babe. And at the end, he goes, did you like that? And I said, I really took something away from that. I said, because they go through a divorce, and in the process of going through a divorce, it didn't happen. But she then realized that she stood in her power without a man, in terms of, and I'm not like an anti-man woman at all. Like, you know, we need our men, we need our partners, like we need people, right? So I'm not like that kind of woman. But she, when she was faced with divorce, she found her voice. She found what it was that she loved. She went after it, and she really went after it and made it happen, and she was successful. And so I'm watching that. Another thing come up on my Instagram after I finished the movie, and it was like a message in alignment with your success is inevitable. It's time for you to stand up, or something like that. And Tom said to me, he goes, Lise, he goes, I really believe in you. I really believe in what you're doing and the impact that you have on people's lives. But you've been cruising, you know, like you've been cruising because we've been comfortable. And I said, I know. I know, like, you're not telling me anything I don't know. And I needed that reflection. I needed him to say that to me. And I needed that message in the movie. So I'm thinking, fast forward back to this morning, I'm thinking about all of that. And I'm thinking about releasing that part of me that's cruising, releasing that part of me that procrastinates, that doubts on herself. And this eagle's kind of circling around. I'm like, thank you. Like, thank you for this eagle. Thank you for this sign that spirit is protecting me, because I call in, I sage, I ask for protection to protect my home, to protect my family. I think about, like, to protect myself, to protect my community. And there's eagles flying around, right? So I'm like, thank you for this message of protection. And that's what I took out of it. Then I see another eagle circling around, and it goes and it sits up on the sailboat as well. So there's two eagles circling around. I see another few flying around this morning. I saw like 5 eagles all up. They're not the kind of bird you see all the time. We do see a few big birds of prey out here. They're amazing. So I'm seeing these eagles. And then I noticed one eagle, then they went from my left side. So I'm at the house up there. I might get this right because it might reverse it. I don't know how tech works. But anyway, they landed on one side. Then they flew to the other side because I thought, oh, this eagle has flown away. But it landed on another couple of jetties over to the other side of me, to my right side. And then the second eagle flew away and it landed over there as well. So 2 eagles on that side. And then I see these plovers. I could hear them. These plovers come down, and these plovers are like squawking, and they're like swooping at these eagles. And I watched these eagles. They stood in their power with all the noise, with all the distraction, with all like the, like, I felt like they were being like nipped at. They were being agitated. They were being, tried to shoo away from these plovers. These 2 eagles sat in their power. They did not budge, they did not move, and they just stayed there. So while all this was happening, this happened over like this course of like 10-15 minutes. They hung around me like the whole morning, like they were there for ages. So I've pulled this card out of my Earth Warrior deck. And this card, it says, she who rides the owl brings justice. This beautiful, I love this deck. It's one of my favorite Earth Warrior decks. And which I just had a message this morning, like, come through, get your Earth Warrior deck, get your Divine Feminine deck and the Golden Age deck. Just pull one card out of each, shuffle 3 times. This is just what comes in, like when you think to yourself, it's just a thought. Comes in, like pull one card from each deck, shuffle 3 times, split it in the middle, and just pull a card in the center. That come through, and I just quickly did that. I want to share a bit of this with you because I think there's a lot of powerful message in this for both of us. So this says, I am the goddess of karma, wealth, and balance. I come to correct the dharma, that which is dark, unnatural, and against nature, life, love, and goodness. I redress the misuse of wealth and power. I enact divine justice and restore divine order. Trust in the innocence of your own soul and fear not, for I am ever watchful, and my power brings truth. Divine justice is always brought to bear. So that was like the little kind of intro. And then it says, now I want you to think about what I told you before about what I was saying to Brock, like there's all these, money being made by people doing ridiculous things on TikTok and who aren't really like adding. This sounds so judgy, and it wasn't, but I'm just telling you, like, I'm not perfect. This is just what comes up into my head. And I know many of you mums have thought it too. I know many of you girls have thought it too. Anyway, so this is what I know this lesson was about. It says, don't waste your valuable time and energy worrying about people getting away with things. It's not possible. Everything is balanced out by karma in the long run. If you feel down or depressed, take action immediately to reconnect to joy, healing, energy, and vitality of spirit, which is what I did this morning anyway. All things are measured and metered by the divine vision. Your job is to put your faith in the work of divine whilst you tend to your own journey and trust in your commitment. From the perspective of those with awakened hearts, the world can sometimes appear to be a disturbing and frightening place where negative activity leads to prosperity. Exactly what I was talking about with Brock, whilst good and worthy people struggle and suffer. And I know many of you think that, you think like I'm a good person. I'm doing things to make a difference. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to, do all these things. And I still feel like the money's not there. I still feel like the opportunities aren't there. I still feel like I'm not getting what I want, while that person over there is making millions of dollars, or making this money doing stupid shit, or that person's out there and they're not a good person, and money is attracted to them, or opportunities attracted to them, and they're not a good person. I had to get out of that judgment, right? I had to get out of that judgment of, it doesn't matter what people think. It literally said in here somewhere, I'll get to it. But let me go back to my card. From the perspective of those with awakened hearts, the world can sometimes appear to be a disturbing and frightening place where negative activity leads to prosperity, while good, worthy and people struggle and suffer. I just read that. It may appear that those who have wisdom are barely heard, while angry people with fear in their hearts and are afforded attention and power. It may seem that what matters most is tended to the least, while destructive purposes gain mass support, exactly what I was talking about with TikTok, and constructive causes struggle to maintain existence. It's very easy with such a view of things for the pure of heart to become angry, bitter and despairing. And that's the energy I was sitting in yesterday when I was chatting with Brock. Like I was angry. Like why does this happen to... Anyway, I've been on my rant already before, and so you know where I'm going with that. But I was a bit like, I get a bit annoyed, and I know you felt it too. In some way or shape or form, you felt it too. However, let me read on. You are meant to be a light in this world, and it is important that you allow Great Spirit, so whatever that is for you, God, Source, Universe, Spirit, loved ones, angels, to support you in this task. Safeguard your state of mind. Safeguarding your state of mind is essential for you to accomplish your life purpose. If you get caught up in negative thinking, as may happen from time to time, yes, I do, I'm not perfect, I know you do too, allow Great Spirit to guide you back to the truth of your inner light. Remember that the divine is more powerful than any nightmare created by human darkness. You don't have to deny the dark side of human nature or its manifest consequences for the health of your planet, but you do need to keep yourself secure within the light so that you can effectively fulfill your destiny as an earth warrior. Joy, happiness and peace will not diminish your motivation to serve others. Rather, will ensure you have enough energy to do so effectively. I think that was it. Whether you're facing a sense of injustice in your personal life, yes, I was feeling unjust, or feel despair at the choices humanity is making in a broader sense. Yes, I was even feeling like with my own kids, why do you watch this shit? Like, you're just wasting your life. You could be doing something so much more productive or learning so much more. Anyway, rant ends. Divine has a greater plan that we can possibly understand. We're here to fight for love and do all that we can to honor what is true for us. We are meant to call upon the universe for assistance in all ways possible. We are meant to use our strengths of love, compassion, wisdom, light, and kindness to be kick-ass earth warriors who will never give up, who are smart enough to use every resource they can, including their living connection to Great Spirit, to affirm correct priorities that honor life. In this way, we uplift ourselves and inspire others through our life journey. So I was reading all this, and then it had I love these cards because it gives you things to think about. It gives you lessons. It gives you wisdom. It helps you to go, okay, thank you. I really needed to hear that. And it also, some decks give you like a little prayer that you can say, or something that a healing little ritual that you can do. And it said, like in here, repeat this aloud 3 times, which I did. I sat out there and I repeated out loud. Through unconditional divine love and my own free will, I surrender that which is not rightfully mine. I give up those thoughts. I let go of those thoughts of negativity, and I let go of those thoughts of being unjustly done by, and I surrender it over to the universe, and I basically trust that what is meant for me, what I'm meant to do with my messaging, what I'm meant to do with my life purpose, I will be taken care of. I will be abundant. I will be looked after. I will receive all that I need for the greatest good of me and the greatest good of you and the greatest good of all. So that's what I wanted to share with you. A couple of takeaways out of this, okay? Like the wisdom that you can get from these cards are astounding, and people find it in their own way. Some people find it in cards, some people find it in the Bible, some people find it in, like, I used to have these little books that I used to buy. They were like just little quotes. They had like a Buddha on the front and little quotes, and every now and then I needed to, it doesn't have to be like a great big card like this, it was just a little quote that I needed to hear. And so there is a lot of wisdom that you can get out of that. But can you see the correlation with the message that I took out of nature this morning? I saw like the eagles were around me, like they're like, I spoke to you about like my little bluebird, and I could hear my bluebird chirping away on he often sits on these little jetties. And this eagle is like for me, eagle is like God. Like eagle is like the king of the jungle, the king of the bird, the natural world. And so when I see an eagle, it's actually a really empowering message for me. And to see 5 this morning, but to see 2 together, sitting together, all of a sudden they're on my left side, then they're on my right side. Then they were like being like attacked by these plovers. They were being attacked by, whether you call it darkness or negative energy, or you have like your light, your dark, your positive, your negative. It's the polar opposite, the yin and the yang. They were kind of being nipped at by these plovers, or nipped at by like the negative thoughts that get in your head, or the feeling that, like I've been done unjustly by, or all those things that go through your mind. I could see that they were being attacked by that dark energy or that negative energy, and they sat in their power. They did not move. They did not do anything. They literally just sat there standing in their worth, standing in their power. So it was a message for me, though, even though you can see sometimes things go on around you that you think that's not fair, or that's not the way it should be, or when's my turn, or why aren't things working out for me, or all these things that we go through. The negative thoughts that creep in, the dark energy that creeps in, the despair that you might feel, the emotion that you might feel, just keep going and stand in your power and know that you will be taken care of. Trust that you'll be taken care of. Trust that abundance is coming to you. And abundance is not just money. Abundance is relationships. Abundance is what you do for work, your career, your fulfillment. Abundance is being surrounded by your family, your loved ones. Abundance is health, vitality. Like abundance is so much more than just the money and the stuff that we have. And so even though we can, like all these things are great, and I want 2 new jet skis, there's stuff that we want as well. You don't have to live this pure life and not want stuff. Sometimes stuff can give you can't travel without money. You can't do these things that you want to do without money. So yes, there's a need for it, but it just, in my opinion, like money amplifies the version of who you already are in here anyway. And so stay true to your worth, stay true to your values, stay true to who you are, and really look at abundance as this bigger perspective of more than just money and material stuff. And trust that you will be taken care of. Trust there's a bigger plan that you might not see yet. Just stay connected to your heart and soul, like these eagles did, how they stood in their power, no matter what was going on around them, the negativity that was, like bombarding them, these plovers that were just bombarding them. Stand in your power. And the other thing is, the more, I know you might be thinking, it's okay for you, like you live out there, you've got this beautiful backdrop of nature. I didn't always have this. Like I grew up on 10 acres. So like, I feel like I've done this full circle. I grew up on 10-acre property, and we were kind of out in nature all the time. Went to the suburbs, got married, raised my kids. And now I'm kind of back, out connected to nature, because that's what my heart and soul wanted to be. But even in my last house, when I was in the suburbs, like I am so drawn to the sun. It's fish jumping. Kira, come here. She looked sawfish the other day and she fell off the jetty, and I had to grab her by the head hair and drag her back in. I got distracted. But yeah, with nature, I didn't always have this. I used to live, my last house for like 17 years when I raised my kids was in the suburbs, and I'm drawn to the sun. I will get up early for the sun. So I used to get up early, go out to my back patio, and I could see glimpses of it through my bamboo, glimpses of the sun. I would sit there and I would be connected to nature. I would sit in peace out on my my back patio, and I would get up before my kids or family got up. So I had this time of peace to be connected with nature. I love the morning because it's still before people come out to work, before people come out with their lawnmowers, before people are out and about. It is the best time of the morning for you to have that bit of peace. And I would go on my walks, take Kira, and I would go on my walks through the we had like paths down near the oval, so I would head away from the houses. Even my mum used to say, don't walk down there by yourself. I'm like, Mum, it's fine, I'm protected. And I would walk down like through around the oval. I would walk down these footpaths at the edge of the estate that was down near the cane fields, and I would get down there on sunrise, and I would walk through the garden and go and stand right near where the housing estate backed onto the cane fields. And I would take Kira, we'd go through there. People are like, don't walk there, there's snakes. I'm like, whatever, it's fine, I'm fine. And I would stand there and I would catch glimpses of the sunrise coming up through the, just sometimes I couldn't always see it. I had to wait till it got over the cane fields, but once it come up, I would just stand there for 5 minutes, just catching glimpses of the sun. So you can find nature all around you. You can find peace all around you, because when you get out in nature, when you get out in that, it's peace. And the energy, then, like Bob Proctor says, the vibration of nature is perfect. It shifts your energy. It shifts your state. It helps you become more calm, more tranquil. It gives you that, like you're plugged into a phone charger. It gives you all of that, it rewires you. It rewires like your cells, your DNA, like you just feel so beautiful and so calm and so peaceful when you get out in nature. I could rant on this for ages. And I find the more I get out in nature, the more nature speaks to me. I remember on my walk one day, I was thinking about the generational lessons or experiences through like me, my dad and my Ulpa. I was looking at traits and qualities that have kind of come down and what I can embody out of what I've learnt being raised in these 3 generations. And I kid you not, I'm walking, I'm thinking about this, I'll still remember it clear as a day, and I look up in the tree, because there was like all these beautiful trees, like gum trees and stuff. There were 3 bluebirds sitting on a branch. And I'm like, what the actual, like, there was 3 bluebirds. Here I am thinking about me, my dad and my Ulpa, and there were 3 bluebirds sitting there. Like, is that not a big enough sign? And so that's what helped me start to understand the power of signs, start to understand the power of peace, of getting out in nature without my AirPods, without my phone, and being so connected. It was like, it's like this reassurance of I'm on the right path, or you know, like what I'm thinking about, like I'm being protected by, maybe it is by my 2 generations that were watching over me, or whatever it was, the message I took out of it at the time. Nature was playing with me. Nature was talking to me. I'd be on walks and I'd be thinking about things, and there would be like dragonflies would come and land, and all of these beautiful nature experiences that I've had did not just happen just here. They've been happening for years. When I made a decision to get out in nature more, I remember the first time I walked outside, like around the oval, like Jody, my kinesiologist friend at the time, said, just get your shoes off. And she told me that. And the next day I was outside and I went for a walk, and I went, I'm going to take my shoes off and I'm going to walk around the oval barefoot. I was like, oh, gross. What if I step in something? And now I'm like addicted to it. But at first I was a bit, you know, like, oh, don't know if I want to do this. But the more I did it, the more comfortable I felt, the more I got out there, and the more I let go of the worry about what people think if I'm walking around at, you know, the kids' soccer thing barefoot. I started to not care. And then I started to see that the more I got connected, the more I opened myself up to receive. When you open yourself up and you get out of your own way, I got more messages, I got more signs, I got more wisdom, I got more of what I needed to learn from these experiences with nature. Nature talks to you, nature plays with you. I could give you all on the podcast, you'll hear so many different experiences that I've had, or people around me have had. Like one example, one of my clients who's come on retreat with me, and I adore this one, I adore all of my clients, and she's in pharmacy, like very in her head, very research, very beautiful, intelligent woman. And I remember on retreat, like I had her, you know, she was coming into the morning session. She's like, I was barefoot this morning, Lise. We'd go up to her brekkie and she's in her activewear, kicking her shoes off and very proper. And she really unleashed this inner wild woman, you know, like she's like, oh, I could now wear like a little bit of a midriff and not feel embarrassed by it, or not feel like I have to fit in with all the other mums. I'm like, yes, like that's what I want to see. And from going from such a research kind of in her head, which we all do, I did, you have, to then going, she's sending me messages about like butterflies that she has seen. She's like, who am I? Like I'm this completely different person. And I know these messages of butterflies are coming from my from her grandmother. So there's messages that she is getting, and she's just started. And this has been over the course of, when has she come and retreat with me? And she's been in my environment for maybe 4 years. So this is not something you just get. If you walk out in nature and you go, well, I didn't see a sign, don't give up. Just keep opening yourself up little by little. Ground yourself a little bit more. Get rid of the AirPods, get rid of the phone, get connected. Go to your favorite, whatever it is. Some people are drawn to water, some people are drawn to rainforest, some people are drawn to, like, I don't know, you know what I'm talking about. There's heaps of different nature environments. In your own way, get more and more connected little by little, and you start opening yourself up, but get out of your own way. If you keep thinking this doesn't work, this only happens to other people and not me, because I used to think the same. I used to say to Jody, man, like, you get all these signs, you get all these messages, you get all of this stuff. When's it going to happen for me? And she just kept going, get out of your head and into your heart. And that's what I want to tell you. Get out of your head and into your heart and open yourself up to receive. If you go, it doesn't work, this stuff's for other people and not me, you put a barricade up, you put a wall up, a block up immediately, and you block yourself from seeing the signs. They're there. They're trying to talk to you. Universe, God, past loved ones, angels are trying to talk to you all the time. But if you're blocking them, it's like you just push them all out and away from you. You have to kind of remove the veil, remove the layer, remove the block, remove the limiting beliefs, and go, I'm just going to be curious. That is all I ask. Just be curious and just open yourself up to go, I'm just going to start experimenting. I'm just going to start seeing and just play and have an open mind and heart. Don't be so serious, be really light-hearted, and just, you can actually just say to yourself, just, universe, talk to me. Like, how can you talk to me more? How can you help me be open to receive more of your wisdom? And just start observing, because what works for me, what talks to me, is not what works for you and what talks to you. I can teach you by lesson, I can teach you by experience, but it's got to be in your own way. Like, I know for my sister, for her, it's frogs and she's got her own reason why. It's when little frogs appear. So she built an actual, what do you call it, like a frog hotel. She got this pipe and made like this little, I don't know, look it up. It's a frog hotel. She made this really cool thing and put it out on her deck. And she's so connected with nature. She's a beautiful soul. And she finds, like, she gets more and more kind of frogs will come in because they speak to her in her way. Because other people are through butterflies or through birds or through feathers that get landed. Like, there are so many different ways, but it's what speaks to you and what you're drawn to. And if you think it's a sign, it's a sign. Anyway, I got to run to work. That's why I'm kind of dressed, ready for work. I have to go and cover a class this morning and get into the studio. I'm like, man, why do these ideas always come through when I've got to go? But that's okay. I just roll with it in the moment. So I hope that helps leave you with just something really cool to think about this morning, and something to help shift your perspective a tiny little bit, because that's what it's about. Remember, have a mind that is open, closed to nothing, and open to everything. As Wayne Dyer says, just have an open mind, angels. Have a beautiful day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.